Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of TD 202. In this episode, we will learn how to draw simple isometric geometries that consist of circular parts. Stay tuned. Okay, so the first shape that we are going to draw today is a cylinder. Now, a cylinder is a geometric figure having parallel sides and having a round cross section or a circular cross section. Now, the top and the bottom is a circle. So let's draw this shape. Now, I'm going to add some dimensions to this shape. Now, the height of this cylinder will be, let's say, 70 millimeters, while the diameter of the circle will be 80 millimeters. So we're working with those dimensions. Please bear those in mind. The first thing that we are going to do, as was mentioned in the previous episode, is we are going to draw the base or the square that the circle will be positioned in. We are drawing the base first. We can start by drawing the top first, it doesn't matter. And the base, the measurement that we are using is 80 millimeters, as this is the length of one side of the isometric square that we are going to draw. Please ensure that this measurement, as was stated in the previous episode, please ensure that this measurement is accurate. I'm sharpening my pencil so that my work can be more precise. So once we have measured the first 2 points, we know from previous lessons that we don't have to measure the other 2 sides. And I'm doing all of this in construction lines, as was seen previously. Right, so these are my construction lines. It's not really wise to redo your construction lines, meaning pull the pencil over them more than once. I'm just doing this so that the lines can be more visible, because while I may be able to see them well, you may not, right? So I have drawn the square that the circle will be in. The next step would be to find the halfway mark, as I'm going to divide this square in 4 equal parts, and this step must be done accurately. This is one of the steps that, when not done accurately, can skew the results, thus making your work inaccurate. This time around, I'm going to use center lines for this application. If you don't know what center lines are, there's an episode in my TD 101 course that shows you or illustrates all the different types of lines and their usage. So check that out. Okay, now I hope you guys remember the steps. Now I'm going to connect my diagonal, the longer diagonal in this shape. Once I have done this, one of the points from the shorter diagonal will be connected to one of the opposing points on the center line. Last time around, I demonstrated all the methods. This time around, I'm going to use the A pattern. Now, this is the point that I want, and this point as well. Please note that I'm not going to label the lines like the last time. Our aim is to draw without having to label in terms of labeling the points. Okay, so I'm going to draw. This time around, we are not going to brighten as yet. The reason being is that we have to ensure that only the parts of the circles or the arcs that are going to be produced that are relevant to the shape will be brightened. I'm just checking to see if the circle will be drawn properly. So at this point I'm drawing my arcs using construction lines as opposed to the last episode where I brightened the shape. I really don't need to do this one, but just for the sake of reinforcement of the knowledge, you'll see why soon. Now I have drawn the base. Now we need to draw the height. Now when we are drawing a cylinder in isometric projection, we are going to draw the height using not the circle, but the isometric square, because we will need to draw another isometric square on top of the present one. Okay, so we are measuring the height from here. So we have a height of 70. Now, this time around, we will not need to remeasure the circle or the square. It seems that I have made a mistake here. This line was not drawn perfectly vertical. Okay, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to transfer measurements. So this point here, I'll transfer it over here. Then I'm going to draw two receding lines so that they meet. You will realize that I did not need to measure again. I'm going to create the circle. at the top. And you'll notice that depending on the height of the cylinder, some of the points will interact. Some of the points will interact, and you have to just bear in mind which points. Now I can go ahead and measure again. And once this measurement is corresponding with the measurement below, it means that my drawing is accurate and I'm on the right path. So the slightest inaccuracy can throw off the drawing. This should be a center line. So using the same A pattern as before, but before that I'm connecting or drawing the longer diagonal of this rhombus shape, which is the isometric square. Remember people, an isometric square takes the shape of a rhombus. A rectangle in isometric drawing takes the shape of a parallelogram, and a circle in isometric drawing takes the shape of an ellipse, which we are trying to draw here. Now I'm going to reach for my compass once more. Now this time I can go ahead and brighten, because this portion can be seen. And since I have the same radius, I'll just go ahead and brighten this section. Now, I'm brightening only a portion of this arc, and you'll see why. I could have just drawn the method of construction before even attempting to do any arc, meaning I could have just drawn the construction down here, then up here, before even attempting to put in the arcs. Alright, so now I am going to widen my compass to draw the arc. Now, this is a part of isometric projection that is kind of frustrating to persons who are just learning. If you have not mastered the art of using the set square and the t-square, and you have not mastered the art of measuring correctly, you may have issues. And please note, don't be confused with the points. This is the point that I'm using, not here. If you do that, you will. Let me show you again. This is the point I'm using. This point is a part of the top square, not this point. So you have to recognize the lines and the points correctly. Identify them correctly, rather. And the last arc to be brightened I'm going to go ahead and brighten the sides. And this is why we didn't brighten beyond this portion. You could have drawn the sides beforehand, then proceed and notice where I'm connecting. And there you have it, an isometric cylinder. Stick around for the next episode as we are going to draw another object in isometric projection, which will be more difficult than this one that involves circular parts. Stay tuned. Stick around. Subscribe, like, share the knowledge. Have a good day.